Here we are on the Victor Jr. and all the porting is done there, and this is the first step. This is the phenolic spacer. Now if you remember, we're doing a major trick here with this, the trick machine spacer from HVH. And what we're doing is I'm putting a phenolic between it, cool down the carburetor. But there's a trick here that will render you some horsepower. It's called developing a turning radius after the barrels come out, so that you don't have ridges and obstructions in the way. So what I've done is I bolted the phenolic spacer to the intake manifold, and then I'm going to come in here and blend it. Now I'm not going to go past this top square. The only thing I'm going to do is come in here and blend it into that to get that ridge out. Alright, here we go. I do use an aluminum grinder on it. I'm just going to hit that. What I do is I let the black material where I've not ground on it, see the dough where I'm grinding, and then I just go in there and I don't let it go above a half line. Where it blends right into the manifold all the way around. Now the only thing I'll do is when I'm done, I'll lightly hit that with a sand roll, and that's it. That made me a perfect venturi for the barrels to radius into the plenum. Okay, if you remember, I'd put the phenolic spacer on and went in there and blended it. Now we got the HVH CNC machine spacer that they're claiming alone makes 15 to 20 horsepower difference. I've showed you on the underside what it looks like. But you got a little issue here when you put that spacer on. Let me zoom in on it. You got this overhang, and if you take your finger, you can feel it. It's like a wall hitting it. So in order to get rid of that and let it go straightly, which we all know what happens when you hit a sharp or solid surface with air and fuel, it turns to liquid. And that ain't going to help the turtle do its job. So we go in here and I'm going to blend the plastic into this, and I've got it numbered front and front because it's going to have to go on exactly in that sequence so that when you bolt it to it, it lines up and does what it's supposed to do. So I'm going to go in here, and you can see the black magic marker lines. That's telling me the areas I can cut to, because I don't want to get into the CNC cutting that HVH did, which is their claim to fame, is they got it figured out, of the barrel transition coming to the top of the manifold and making its turn, giving it a real tall, short turn height, if you will. So let's go ahead and why don't we blend that a little bit out. And let me show you how I'm doing it. We'll get a little zoom on it. Okay, I think that's about it. And we're going to roll it into it first with the rough cutter. Then I'll go back with a sand roll and lightly touch it. And then the modifying on the manifold's done, except for installation of the turtle. Alright. Remember, I'm in where the black lines are. Now a lot of this, remember, is touchy-feely. We're barely touching the aluminum. All we're wanting to do is keep that black ridge out of the way. Now I am going to have to go here a cunt hair on the top Alright, I've got nothing in the way. I'll finish the rest of it with a sand roll. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the rest of them and get them layered in like that, and then we'll come back with the sand roll and show you the touch-up. Alright, now that we've finished with the grinder, I just slid the sand roll on, and all we're doing is blending to make sure there's no rough intrusions, no humps or anything like that out of the way. Not hardly touching any of the aluminum at all. You know, and really, like I said, I didn't want to have a ridge up, but the real work to the spacer is on the inside. We're not touching anything up in here. Just in the corners where it transitions is all we're doing. Then you got perfect feel, man. That is fantastic. Nothing in the way, no ridges, just a straight roll all the way to the plenum, giving us a super badass short turn. Alright, that's it. And now we got to go wash all this stuff off, blow it off, get it cleaned up and everything. And I'm going to get everything ready to set the turtle in there, and I'm going to show you the turtle and the great thing that was done for us by a company that jumped in and helped us with all this design somewhat. Alright.